Hi, and welcome to tomorrow's show where you are where I am, and everyone, please be included in reaching the stars of today. I'm so excited to be sitting here with Chris Harrison, Family Springs, alkaline water, which we all love. If you guys haven't got my show or, listening to it already, please download Google, Spotify, iHeart. I'm all there. Tomorrow's Daily Life, YouTube. I'm there. Today we're going to be playing a game with Chris. I brought him back because now this is something totally fun, and I hope you guys enjoy this. My listeners, the viewers. Thank you, baby. If you guys heard the violin playing, my daughter, Tamara. We are trying something new, you guys, and she's going to be my musical introduction. Isn't that nice? Chris, welcome to the building.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. Tamara, how you doing?
I'm good. Just living the dream.
Man, that's all right. I like that. Live the dream.
Yeah. What's been going on in your life?
I've been working on Family Springs more so. Working on the website, trying to get the website ready. Well, it's already ready, but doing the constant updates and bringing that along. Just got the subscription process lined up, so you can definitely join and get a subscription delivered to your door or pick up.
How do they do that? We all do that?
FamilySprings.com. And then right on there, there's the subscribe button. Click the subscribe button and fill out the form and all the information. Go to PayPal and you'll be set up for a reoccurring.
So if I wanted to have Okay, that's awesome. Is there a limit to when you cancel, like a certain time frame? No. Sometimes you have 30 days and then...
No, you can go ahead and sign up today.
30-day money-back guarantee.
Yeah, you can try the cases out. I'm going to suggest at least 2 months, but you can do it for a month and then you can cancel it if it's not what you want. But yeah.
So what sizes did you get? Like, you have the cases.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I have the 16.9 ounce. 24 comes in the case. I have those, and I also have the 4 gallons currently, and we'll be having the 5-gallon jugs coming soon. So.
Oh, nice. Because the 4-gallon ones, those are a nice size. That lasts, especially with the hurricane, as I'm putting these air quotes.
Right.
The hurricane, I bet you did really good. Because
I was glad to be able to have the opportunity.
Piling up water and all kinds of supplies. Did you stock up? Or did you evacuate?
Well, I did have. I was ready. I fulfilled a lot of our regular customers. Made sure that they were ready before I got out, because I was in Zone A. So I had to. Me and my daughter, we got up out of here. So
really,
yeah.
You had to evacuate.
Yep, I was in Zone A. I wasn't gonna take the chance, and regardless, they made everybody, evacuate.
Because you just never know.
And I took my daughter and we got on out of there and went to use that time to go see family, be with family. So that was good.
Well, it's always nice to see family, especially if you haven't seen them in a while.
So I utilized the time and
gotta do that. Family's important. That's good. So, and you also have the pumps, right?
Yes.
That you can purchase. You can purchase pumps from you.
Right.
And they go with the 4-gallon. Now, do they go with the 5-gallon as well?
Yeah, they'll go with the 5-gallon. Well, they just go ahead and screw onto the top of the jug, and the pump comes out. Really, I utilize it a lot at my events that I do, festivals.
Kind of reminds me of a well, but without the handle.
Right, without the handle.
The
Same
handle,
concept.
but it's like this instead, but it still comes out
Very
way. Very simple, yeah.
In case you don't have the money to, get the water cooler itself, because sometimes, those are $100-something, $70, $200 up to, so you get a nice one, hot and cold water. Most people drink their water room temperature, so, you might as well just get the pump. He said $15.99 is the pump. we will be having we don't have it on the website yet, but we will be adding it. So
Okay, but they're $15.
$15.99.
I have one, and I think that it is a easy, convenient alternative to having a water pump.
Right.
You know, and I like that. And the fact that you deliver is important. But delivery is a charge, is
Yes.
traveling, because you paying for the convenience and my gas mileage, but it's worth it. You're reaping the rewards of it because you're drinking Family Spring.
And it's only a flat rate, $5. So throughout the Hampton Roads area, comparative. You compare it to Fiji. You can go to Fiji.com. You know what I mean? They have very good water. You know, so I'm not down for it, but the pricing for their water, and you know, you have to look at where it comes from more so than likely is why the prices range from where they range at. But you know, our quality is right there, and we can provide the same, you know, good quality water, you know, at a reasonable cost for our area.
Which is good. Yeah.
So.
I was gonna ask you about. I heard through the grapevine you were writing a book.
Oh. That great.
And care to share with us anything you wanna that you can talk about, and the inspiration of this book that you are potentially writing? Did I hear that correctly?
Well, it's more like a memoir,
Okay.
You know, thoughts and, you know, theories, ideas, but, you know, something to leave for my daughter also. So there's no questioning about who your daddy was or what he thought and how he thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get it, you know, straight from me instead of gathering it from other people, you know, so instead of write your own legacy, basically. Write your own, you know, so
I think it's a great idea.
But yeah, that's basically what it is. And you know, I mean, I'm just jotting down ideas. I don't know when I don't have anything, you know, thought out or planned out, you know. You know, I have a bunch of other things that that taking priority right now, but I'm still living this life. So.
But you have a lot of projects. You're working
Right.
a lot of projects. I can't keep up.
Me neither.
Although I try to keep my ear
yeah.
to the ground, or
Yeah, I
whatever
can't keep
the
up
metaphor
either. Don't
is.
worry about it.
Try to-
I'm living in it.
Yeah. So am I.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, that's all we can do, right?
Right.
So, would you like to play a little game? It's how well do you know yourself?
Okay.
I know on my last episode I did, which was a couples of the not so newlywed game,
Mm-hmm.
and I really enjoyed that. We enjoyed it, and my wife enjoyed it. We enjoyed it so much we wanted to start doing a few, do more and mix it up. And what better person than to get Chris back in the studio and play this game?
Okay.
Are you ready? Drum roll. Drum roll.
Okay.
That was my drum roll.
Yeah.
First category, situations.
Mm-hmm.
First, how well can you read a situation, climate, or context?
How well can I read a situation? So.
Any situation. So let's say you were in a situation with a friend of yours, and they had a problem, maybe rather it be abuse, or he came to you, he asking you for advice.
One thing I usually
How would you read that situation if he said it but not said it, and there was underlining really real issues? And this was a friend that you maybe grew up with. So what I'm really asking is how well would you handle that?
That particular
situation.
I would start off by you know. I don't know, really. Being involved in a situation with, you will always want to give the advice that you know, your own experience, because you can't speak of someone else's. And when I do speak of someone else's experience that I may have heard of that may be comparable to yours, I would refer that, and say, this is how I heard it, you know what I mean, because you're hearing from it third party. So I always like to give some type of, I always call APA format.
Well, we want to say this is from this person.
Right, but all of our experiences transpired through someone else's. So whether it's in a book or whether you heard it, from somebody else, or you lived it, you know what I mean? So there's different parts of it. And when you're a makeup of all those different experiences. So when you have the opportunity to share that with someone else, just give them basically a source of where you got the information from and let them make their own decision based upon it.
What do you guys think? I think that was a good answer. So if you guys disagree, please email, text, message in on all avenues, especially Spreaker Podcast Radio. You can message. And if you want to ask Chris any questions or, throughout this whole game, please feel free. Because it's fun. The interaction is fun. Are you able to grasp the nature of a problem and analyze key points?
Yeah. I find myself sometimes to be kind of resilient in the fact of, and I think it always came from my mom, like, well, look, you don't hit somebody unless you get swung on first. So I don't know, that type of mentality always kind of helped me, like, look, I'll be able to take what I can off of somebody to gather information, and, before you, respond to it, basically. So the resilience of taking that, I think that's where probably the best answer for that.
He's like, and that's it.
That's probably
But I think that was a good answer. So again, everybody who's listening, who may be listening.
And what, you got a poll or something
You guys,
you want to put on Facebook?
Yes, that would be fun. That would be fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Instagram,
that would be fun. Let's take votes and see, and who likes, what answer you guys like, and how anybody who's listening feels about any of these questions. I'd like to get other feedback and see what you all think about these situations, because any of us can be faced in these situations, and as we should be held accountable. So, anyways, how curious are you about the things you don't know much about?
Plenty. Very curious. Extremely curious. It's about.
Is it good to be
expansion.
Curious?
Yeah, I mean, because that's how we evolve. That's where our creativity comes from. Is the curiosity of wanting to expand. Even in the form of kings and such. Conquer. You know what I mean? So that's where we. I think we naturally have a desire to do those things, and. For those that don't, they may have a different type of lifestyle, more what's the word I was going to say? Conservative type of lifestyle, conformant, and, those who doesn't, they're going to go for the alternative type of lifestyle, and then, when they see leaps and bounds. They're not afraid to challenge it and take it on. And those would be the separations between those that are great, those that are in sports and raising the bar constantly because they don't see boundaries. Those Malcolm X's and certain guys that push certain limits. You know what I mean? Like you have to think outside the box. You can't conform. You know what I mean? Because they don't do that. You know what I mean? Because they have to. Even science goes against the status quo in order to break new barriers and new challenges. You know what I mean? You have to push limits against what anybody else thinks. In order to push evolution and to push society to where we're at now. Like it takes somebody to break, the mold of constantly thinking in the same way. So I think that did answer the question.
You went kind of there and then went to like first, second, and third race.
First, second, and third. Damn, what was
You
the
went.
question? I don't know what. Yeah.
I said, how curious are you about the things you don't know much about?
Yeah.
So you did answer, and then you kind of,
Yeah.
But I think it was a more
Very
in-depth
curious.
answer and what people want to hear because it relates to a lot. I would agree because I think without being curious, you don't have the desire to learn more. So, and I think just like how they say children are like sponges, I think as adults, we need to be that way too, being curious and always wanting to absorb knowledge. Because, as they say, knowledge is power. The more
Application
you
of
know,
knowledge.
you know.
Right. You got to apply it. No matter what you know, you don't put it out there.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
So, now we're going to switch it up just a little bit. Because I've asked you about some situations, and I want to ask you some more different. Okay. I didn't write this. I'm going to put this disclaimer. I have another writer. I have a co-writer. Actually, I'm going to throw the name bomb. Okay, my wife. She actually wrote a lot of this game, and it's great. She's a great writer, and I'm going to get her on the show when she's not as shy. She's always the behind the camera person, and she's behind the camera. I'm on YouTube, Tomorrow's Daily Life, and she is holding the camera. Love you. And so, Chris.
Yes.
This is
oh man, all that to say.
yeah, all that. I had to make sure when I read the question, I was like, let me put this disclaimer out.
Good. I'm like, okay, now I'm all anticipating, hands sweating.
Okay, I'm exaggerating. All right. What are your nicknames, and what do you prefer to be called?
Man.
Ooh, what are your nicknames? And you have to be totally truthful, even if it was snot, nugget, booger. You
like
have
back
to.
in the day, it was like juice, because all I like to drink, I like to drink a lot of juice.
Oh, I thought I was
from my
going to say
uncle.
because of the movie Juice.
Oh, that was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Because all I would ask for was juice. So
Okay.
like, it was certain things, and this is like in North Carolina, so you get a lot of your names in North Carolina. Cheese. So like because all I would eat is cheese, plain cheese, right out the wrapper all day.
Did they call it like American cheese, or were you
That
hot
was
pepper
just
jack?
straight sliced cheese. I don't care what it was.
Did they say
cheese.
sliced cheese?
No, they was like cheese. They was just like, hey, cheese here. It was like, hey. And then I smiled a lot too, so then it's like a double
cheese!
meaning.
Look
Yeah,
at with
so
that big
had
old cheese.
Double meaning. So, yeah,
And you did some modeling, Chris.
Hey, stuck one out of the bag with that one. I did.
You did. Why don't you tell us about that? What did you model? You said you modeled Colgate?
Oh, I did it. That was back in
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste. Ultra Bright. Ultra Bright.
I remember Ultra Bright.
Yeah.
I remember Ultra Bright. I remember my mom getting Ultra Bright.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys remember that.
I tried it out. I think a pilot, I guess it was.
Oh,
it was
so
like
what did you
6
say?
years old, 7, something like
How
that.
did that go? What was your line?
My mother always told me to brush my teeth.
Should I get you a toothbrush?
Brush my
too,
teeth?
so
No,
you can-
because I ain't had no toothbrush for the day either. I remember that. Now, they give you no toothbrush. You had to, make believe you had. I guess you got to that next level. Then you got the toothbrush.
So
And then you got to actually, this is straight imitate. You got to imagine you got it and sell it. So it was like, my mom always told me to brush my teeth, and that's how I probably did it, kind of real dry. Brush my teeth, brush my teeth, brush my teeth. Well, mom never told me about Ultra Bright.
And did it go ding?
I don't know. And, that was just in front of the man with the, with the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And, not much inspired. Rose out of that. And, I did a couple of other commercials.
Yeah.
And I did some.
What did you do?
Little pilots for the doctor's office, little type videos or whatever.
And what'd you say then?
No, it wasn't that. It was just like, how you watch videos with people in the background or something like that. Yeah, it wasn't that. I don't think, I've never even seen it, to be honest with you.
Oh, you didn't see it?
It was just like, it was like an extra, writing, sitting at a desk writing, like we was in the classroom. So it wasn't really, nothing major. Yeah.
You said
It's nothing amazing. It's nothing spectacular.
Oh, I thought you was gonna tell us about all kinds of commercials you did. I was
Nah. It was.
I was very weird.
That you have to be willing to chase that, and it's very expensive.
Oh gosh, yes it is.
Yeah, so
I tried to get my daughter.
Really,
get my daughter into that.
And then it's like, oh my gosh, you're really good.
Touch of class.
Let's put you in an advanced setting. Let's put you, and then it's just constantly more money, more portfolios on it. You're just constantly chasing. So my mom
that
was
is
like,
so true.
We ain't gonna be able to keep, And I was pretty good at modeling, and but once again, just like these traveling football teams, that's like it costs to, to continue, whether you pupils are good or not, and then. Is it still going to pay off at the end? You don't know, but you bought a trip to Florida, or wherever else,
right.
So, all of
you
the
said
hopes.
You don't know, but you bought a trip
all
to
of
Florida.
the hopes, right? You know what I mean? And updating your portfolio and trying to make it, so, they gas us a lot off of that, and it's all good, Everything turns out for, a reason.
Yeah. Is that what you believe?
Yeah. If you're on your path and, everything kind of comes around and, forms who you are, and you make decisions. So, it's an experience in my life. I don't regret it, so give me a point of...
Did you have regrets?
Do I have regrets?
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't say it because I'm getting to know who I am, more so like those things that happened in my life, it took that to happen to get me to, have the thoughts that I'm able to have, or maybe answer some of the questions to some of my friends that have discussions that we can kind of therapeutically answer for ourselves through our own. So, like, maybe my man ain't got to go through it if I can express, something that I've been through, and maybe, so that's how I look at it. That's how we evolve. That's how we move our society and everything else for our family. Because I'm not going to really believe you unless you came through your own. You say, yo, I did this. Trust me, like, you know what I mean? This is what happened to me. I'm like, it ain't, this is what happened to my girlfriend's girlfriend, brother, sister. You know what I mean? Like, all right, well, hold on, that's a lot of people. Yeah.
Okay. Question number 2. What do you do if you can't sleep at night? Do you count sheep? Toss and turn? Try to get up and do something productive? Count sheep.
That's a good one. It's automatic, the last one. That's what I do. I get up and do something productive.
Like what?
The other weekend, I got up and straightened up my garage. We stacked the waters and stuff in there, and cleaned up, and listen to put a little YouTube video on, and listen and just kind of get some paperwork done, maybe pay some bills, or, that type of stuff. But yeah, I'm not just gonna lay in the bed and just. Sometimes I do. I mean, correct myself. Some days I may do lay in there a little longer, and then eventually I'm like, I got to get up and get productive. I don't care what time it is. Sometimes I might not go to sleep till late. It might be pushing, 3 o'clock. I'm like, Chris, I need to lay down.
Yeah, right.
And then sometimes I'm up at like, 3:30, 4. And I'm like, well, I know I need to get these things done. I'll take a nap later if I need one. And I just get to work.
Do you really have time? You say you take a nap later. Do you really, in your day, have time to take a nap? Because I figure we have 24 hours in a day. You probably need about 34.
Yeah, I try to squeeze it where I can.
Because you have your daughter.
Absolutely, yes.
How old is your daughter?
5.
London is 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then, you're working, have your own business, working on a book. I mean, there's just so many things. And then you do charity functions and, all kinds of events and, going to different schools and, talking to the kids, you're mentoring. I mean, how do you find time to juggle your schedule with all these things? Because you're saying resting. And I'm like, Chris and rest just don't seem to mix. But if you don't rest your body, how can you be productive? And then you say, oh, I went and did this charity event, then I went to the movies, and then me and my daughter went to dinner. I'm like, man, he must have more hours in the day than I do. How does that happen? Where does the rest come?
You may wait.
Or do you just drive,
you may
and
wait,
drive?
and you make time for what you allow. So I know, understandably, when I have my daughter and the days I pick my daughter up, I'm gonna put my phone down in the truck, and from the time I pick her up, we're in the park, and we're gonna ride our bike, or we're gonna, my time. She gets my time, right? And that's basically through the week when I have her, and then she comes first, and then. I'll cut my motor on when she goes to sleep, at that point in time, because I only have, the time when you pick them up from daycare or kindergarten, school or whatever, you only have that amount of time, and then you're supposed to try to get them studying, and she be tired now, they won't let them take naps. So, I try to play and get my play and my time in, because she get in the truck, she's going to be asleep, so I do that, and then, next is, after she cleans up or whatever, eat, and, and I turn on and do some work or something like that, or try to figure out what I need to do, and, ultimately, I don't sleep long, so I don't really need a lot of sleep, and then that's one of the things, if you're doing the right things and living, I'm not going to say I'm doing 100% of the right things, so let me go ahead and, because I still like to eat my pizza and my burgers and stuff, but when you're exercising and you know your body, you know how much rest that you need when you're not feeling good.
Let me go back, Chris. Hold on. Pause that. You eat a lot of burgers, though, right?
Yeah, I do. I love them. I like them. I love them.
Okay. I just had to go back. I was like, he said eat one burger.
That's why I was keeping. Yeah, I was keeping it real.
You wouldn't think he eat like that. I mean, look at him. You wouldn't think he eat like that.
Yeah. But see,
now those of you just listening, but if you log on Tomorrow's Day Live, you'll be able to see what I was talking about.
Right.
Like, subscribe, thumbs up.
Yeah, But,
Go ahead,
I
Chris.
I eat, when I eat. There's no denying that, but once again, I know my body, and, this not my first time really kind of experiencing. I've been up to 225, and I've been.
Have you?
Yeah, it's up to 225, and.
Well, you're also tall, though.
6 foot. Yeah, that's probably about average. 6.
Is 6 foot average?
I figure it's probably about
6
average. I don't know,
foot's
maybe
kinda
now.
tall.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I'm right there.
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah. But I done lost probably about close to 35 pounds. So.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. So.
Drinking alkaline water.
Drinking alkaline water, yes, ma'am.
And is there a certain diet you're on?
I did intermittent fasting for a period of time when I first started doing that.
Did you say intermittent?
Intermittent.
Oh,
Yeah,
intermittent. Okay.
Yeah. So I was eating one time a day. Basically, I did have a smoothie in the morning, and then I went eating until 6. And along with working out as well and eating a vegetarian type diet, I lost the weight very fast, and it was good, and it was healthy. It was good for me. Make
Seems
sure I
like a
stay
really
very
good way.
hydrated. Yeah. So.
Drink a lot of water.
I would like to put my body through a lot of the different tests where I'm out here, and I have a different concept now of a lot of vegetarian veganism and things like that. So right now I just figure everything isn't for everybody, and we're all meant to evolve some way. So I don't believe that we were all supposed to be just eating vegetables. We at one point in time, yeah. So, and then there was another period of time where we evolved and we became, because life works that way.
Yeah.
Once again, evolution over time, whether you believe in spirituality, God, or whatever, throughout time. So, we're at a point now where we are supposed to, and we can eat meat, and our bodies are made to handle it, just not the amount of massive loads that we consume.
Yeah,
right.
Kind of overindulge.
Right, we overindulge on it, and that's where we have the problems, the hiccups, and then we don't understand the power of water and how that helps clean a lot of that stuff out of our system, washes it, and drinking the right, grade, level of water. Those things matter. So that's why.
Why does drinking alkaline matter?
To help buffer the acids in your body.
Okay, since we're on the diet and you said drinking a lot of water and drinking the right water, so that's why I'm asking, because you believe, because you obviously, Family Springs, you are a firm believer in drinking the best water.
That's right, FamilySprings.com.
So,
Family Springs on Facebook, Instagram. Drop that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people on Instagram, I also have an Instagram account, you guys, so just look for my name.
Speaker.
It's there, Speaker Podcast Radio is my Instagram, so you can listen out there, and I have small clips, which there will be a clip of this on Instagram, so try to hit every avenue there is that I have the followers and that want to hear about when Chris is coming back to the show.
Thank you for that.
And telling us all kinds of different things. I was looking at your Fight to the Core, because that was a great event that you were actually a part of.
Yes.
You were a vendor there. What did you take from being there and the experience, and what did you take from that? And what exactly was it, would you like to recap with our listeners and viewers?
Definitely the energy. The positivity, the experience. Everybody, the calls. I'm always about the calls, so, it was a good walk. I wish I could have took place in the walkway. I know
it was great.
Your wife,
yes,
your daughter came
and
out
my
there.
daughter. Yes, we were
woods,
there.
right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trail. That looked like fun.
I
do
thought it
love
was
to
great,
do
and they
those.
had the water stands. You know, I don't know, the distance between,
Right,
but
right.
it was definitely one on each side. You know, as we're going around the laps. So it was definitely great, and it was a nice morning.
Right,
You know?
it was so nice. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I didn't have. It was just me and my daughter that day, so I wasn't able to take place in the walk this time. But this
So
was
you
their third
definitely
annual.
were there
This is my first
with
time
your
being
water
there.
there and other vendors.
Right. There was other vendors there that was relating into either health or jewelry or beauty, some of those things, and I thought it was fantastic. Had some sisters there that sold tea, healthy, natural tea. Had my brother from
delicious
the herb,
tea.
herb store, the herb pharmacist over on Granby Street.
Dr. Andrew. Is that who you're referring
over
to?
on Granby Street? Yeah.
Dr. Andrew. Yes. So,
fantastic.
yeah, I
Yes.
spoke with him for a bit at the event, and that I really like that, the herbal, medicines.
That was
And
good. Yeah.
how they had the spray. They had the oil, the spray that you put on the bottom of your foot for any kind of pain and
Okay.
everything, that she was
Okay.
like, you can put that, but, we just kind of smelled it. And then the menthol that kind of
clear it out.
clears your, that were the
senses and-
samples that they had out.
sinuses and stuff like that.
So, wow, I just never, would have thought. Obviously, it's an alternative method, like internal medicine.
See,
kind of thing.
I think we get away a lot of times from that, and the medicines and stuff that medications from the pharmaceutical companies that we utilize, they come and derive from those more herbal. They just make it and give it to you at a heavier concentration. Sometimes concentrate and extract some of the stronger points of it instead of giving it to you in this natural form. And then they give it to you a combination of other things, and then they package it up and give it to you.
Yeah.
Versus just going and go see the herbalist and getting it done and getting it. There, because our body doesn't really know how to accept it when you
it's not
concentrate it like
added.
that. Right, yeah, it's like, okay, I kind of know what this is, but this ain't how I'm used to receiving it. So it reacts differently, and that's why you get all the side effects. I'm no doctor.
Yeah.
That's just my theory. Yeah.
And then, TV, they like to have all those commercials. What are they, the infomercials, where they have the, all these side effects. And the side effects are worse than what it's supposed to, the purpose of it is.
Right. They're in the business of making money. And if you look at iatrogenic, we had talked about it, iatrogenic diseases, and a lot of times those things, I think it's right behind cancer is the third most leading causes of death in America. And you look that up, but you're not going to hear anything about it, because then that'll fear people from going into medical hospitals and getting treated, by the pharmaceutical companies. If you start promoting, that's just like me saying, train rides are the number one cause of death. People will stop taking the train.
Right.
You can't. So certain things, information, they're not going to put preview to, and they don't even write a statistical chart, which I had read on the internet. A statistical chart on the amount of deaths that are caused through the hospital incidents. So that's not even statistically categorized with cancers and all these other different things a lot of the time. So we just got to be aware of the information and stuff that is out there. But if we don't know what to look it up, how we gonna look it up? So I mean, one of the GlaxoSmithKline and Smith, back in 2003, one of the doctors for the number one leading in Europe actually said that medications and pharmaceutical companies basically don't work. They don't work in over 50% of the patients. And these are all information that's out there, and that's verbatim coming from he's the vice president of the number one pharmaceutical company, and that's what he comes down and say. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, he's sitting there telling you these things. But yeah, we prescribe it. I don't know. I'm going on, looking for medications. So.
And but the thing is, how often do you hear about herbalists, and promoting natural health medications versus, all the commercials about all these other chemically induced medications?
Mm-hmm.
It's not balance.
No, but you're going to silence the ones that aren't making you that much money. And if they're not making that much money, how much are they going to be able to get their voice out over those that are? So it's basically smother out tactic. You can't be heard if you quiet down, and you ain't going to know where to spend your money at if they're quiet. So you're going to give it to the one who screams the loudest, and then, which in turn continues me to put my oppressed fist on them, the small businesses, and keep them either small at a bay or at a distance where, people ain't going to believe it unless you're in a white coat, at the end of the day. And, their thoughts and theories come from practices. You look up the term practice, see what practice means. They're learning too. You're different than I am. We don't have the same blood, fingerprints, different types of things, from one person to the next. So how do you figure out something about somebody else, without you verbally telling them how you feel? And then what if you misdiagnose yourself? Like, what if you don't know the difference between a heartburn and a heartache or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, different. So you say something wrong and he takes the wrong information down. Now you have back at the iatrogenic disease because he misdiagnosed you because you didn't say the right thing. Because you're patient. You don't know this. Mm-hmm. Not even prescribe you the wrong medication. Somebody dies over there because they can only take the information that you give them and practice something, and everybody's different. So we can't take the same diet because the same diet works for you might not work for me. We are our own individual people, and we have to learn that.
You sound like you've learned it.
Are you
in a process? Are you still learning?
I'm still learning. Absolutely, yeah. I'm still learning.
When is it a time? When do we stop learning?
You don't. Socrates said that the greatest thing was to admit that you know nothing. That's basically what you have to admit. That's the whole part of expansion, and wondering and knowing what's out there and continuing to conquer and move forward because we don't know. I hear now a lot of times, people talking about, the earth is flat again. But it's like, people like automatically, they're crazy. And I'm like, well, when the last time you've been off this planet and in the outer space other than what you've seen on TV and the theories and something that somebody wrote in a book and told you and showed you on TV? Like, you don't know.
Like, this is what
this planet looks
like. You seen it on TV.
Right. You seen it on TV. You see a lot of stuff on. You see monsters, aliens, all types of stuff.
Right.
So
that's true.
So now if somebody says it's flat, you don't have no experience of knowing this neither, but someone told you that and you base it. Now that person's crazy because he thinks differently than what you think.
Look, I'm off task. I'm supposed to be asking you some more questions. I've been asking you questions.
It's your show.
Going off that, but I've enjoyed the questions so far. But let's go to another one. You ready for another one? You game to play a little bit more with me?
Your game.
Okay. All right. So, and this is for those who just tuned in, we are playing a game with Chris Harrison of Family Springs. How well do you know yourself? And so far, you guys, I think he's doing pretty good at knowing himself. Is it a point as a scoreboard? But it should be a scoreboard. You guys, contact me and let me know what you think, how we should do this. So, Chris, how many days could you last in solitary confinement? and how would you do it?
That's a good question.
And for you, that is definitely a good question for you because you live how many hours outside of your home?
A lot.
You know, how would you, if there's 24 hours in a day, how many hours do you actually spend in the house?
Well, you know what? When I don't have to be out in an event and it's not sunny, because if it's raining, I like to be at the house.
Right.
But for the most part, I do rather be at home. So I am at home if I can and get any chance I'm there. And there's so much for me to do at the house. I've still got walls I haven't finished painting in 2 years. Because, you know what I mean? And in and out and that type of thing.
But yeah,
solitary confinement.
Yeah, solitary confinement. That is a really good question. Woo! And how would you do it? Wow.
I kind of sit when I'm in the house and my daughter's not there, or if I probably wasn't here today, or it was another event that I probably could have went to. But if I was at home, I'd be in there, probably cleaning, you know what I mean, and washing dishes or cooking. And I don't normally have the radio on or sometimes the TV, or I might cut on the YouTube thing. But I spend a lot of time, even traveling. You know, I go up to Jersey and won't play nothing in the vehicle or the whole ride. So I'm good in silence because I'm cool with my mind. Like I like to figure it out, and there's so much, and that's where, God talks to us in our head, right? So, and then they always tell you to meditate and to be comfortable. So a lot of times, we used to background noise, and even when we're cleaning, we got to have the TV on. And I used to be like that. Like, I just had to have the NFL channel. My thing was NFL had to be on. And I just needed to be listening. I don't care what I was doing. It had to be on.
Oh, okay.
And, cleaning the car or whatever, you had to have some music on. And, so nowadays I'm okay with it.
Well, did you say how would you do it?
No, I just meditate.
I was like,
I don't know. I don't know. It's
okay,
hard.
well, meditation is good because it kind of takes you out of that confinement,
ultimately,
right?
Work out, and meditate. So, between those two, I think I would get a better peace of mind. I would find comfort in that at that point in time, because I could be introverted, I think, too. For the most part, I do love people, but I was the only child.
So, you are. Did you have to learn to be social? Were you kind of antisocial? Kind of had a hard time.
I think I was probably in between both. I don't even know. I would say it's a balance, I guess, in my point of view. Just being because I was the only child, and I was, I dealt with that, and it was cool.
How was that?
So, it was, at these moments where, I did want a brother and a sister at times, but, there was time I was comfortable, I didn't want to beat myself up about it, and, we was around family, my family's very close, so that took the edge off of the wanting those things, because our family was very close, so that helped.
That was good.
Yeah, but, what was the question? I think I answered it. Now you got me thinking. Now you got me thinking.
No,
I answered the question.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You said, "How would you do it?" Because we were like, if you can last in solitary confinement, and how would you do it? And I believe that was.
Because I gave you how I do it already.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And meditation. Do you meditate often? Because you did say meditation.
I say that much. I did used to do it quite a bit and quite routinely. I guess I do it in different ways where if I'm driving, I don't, but I still got to kind of consciously, but you drive so much you actually become second nature. You can actually drift off in a dream and still be driving, then come to like, oh, how'd I get here? You know what I mean? So, that's your mind and took you away, but that's not good, not safe
Yeah, don't do that in real
right.
life.
But you
and
got to
drift off.
stay grounded, right? Stay grounded. But yeah, I mean, I do a lot of spend that type of meditation, so it's not that type of deal.
No myoho,
Yeah.
none of that.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Chris, do you save? Wait. Let me see. Oh, the lighting. I could probably use better lighting.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, work with what you got.
But we working what we got, people.
That's
So it is what it's gonna be right now. Do you save old greeting cards and letters, or throw them away?
I save them for a long time, and it's hard for me to part with them. And sometimes, like, Chris, this is,
This is 10 years
yeah,
old.
like, this is old, like, all this is a Christmas card. And, like, it's nothing in, the money's not even in there no more. What are you holding on with it? Why is this sentimental value? There's nothing in this thing right now. But, yeah, I do have it.
I think that I'm guilty of that too, as my wife pointing to Christmas cards that I have out. But I keep...
Valentine's Day?
Is that Valentine's card? Is that what that is? Oh, yeah. See, so I'm guilty of that too. I do it too. I think a lot of us do it. I think a lot of us do it. Kay's like, I agree. She raises her hand. I agree too.
Have an emotional attachment. So emotional. It just came straight to me
That
because
is
somebody
true.
would,
Maybe it's that what it is, depending on who that card's from. Because I usually keep...
Christmas. Because that's my birthday, Christmas, Easter.
Yeah.
I keep all of them.
And that's there's a guy, I forgot where I heard the story at, but he was saying that we put so much emotion into what we give, it's hard for us to part, and that's how you sell items, by gearing an emotional attachment to these things. And it's like, it's easy because you can, that's why it's so good to write, because you can transfer that energy actually to the paper, and that's how you transfer the energy of emotion to someone else.
So
that's what kids do. They
Yeah.
don't know what they're drawing. They draw some colors, and you'll put it on your refrigerator, and it doesn't even say anything. It's just colors and there's lines, but you know that they made that say, "Mommy, Daddy, this is for you."
Because it was made, with emotion.
So that's what, they transfer that. So
Definitely. I agree with that. Who is the biggest pack rat you know?
my mom, and she can pack anything. And
Is it like hoarder style?
No, I thought she was talking about like if we're going on a trip.
Yeah.
And you need her to pack your trunk. That's my thing, like a pack rat.
Yeah.
But like she, even in the house, she keeps, for whatever, whenever, whatever, whatever you may need or you think you may need, or it might have been on sale, she's gonna have some of it, and she's gonna make sure you got some too. So you know what I mean.
So your mom. That's the biggest.
She's always ready. She's always ready. She'll buy clothes for London, not this Christmas, but next Christmas. And,
My mom used to be that way too.
I'm like, Mom, she won't be in that size at least another year and a half.
My mom used to be that way
It's
too.
okay, they don't sell now, and I'm going to just get them now. I'm like, okay.
They were book size, right?
Yeah, but it's like a size of 2 sometimes, and,
Just like my dad.
yeah. And it's cool. They find value in what they find value in, and that's what helps, and it helps. So.
Right, it does.
Right.
There's always put that back there for every year. And every 2 years, and every 3 years, they put something.
Right. I think it works. So I let her live in her space. That's her love.
All right. You ready for our next question?
Sure, Mom.
Okay. Well, here's another. What is your strongest sense? If you had to give one up, which would it be? I like that question.
Strongest sense would be like to say my smell. I have a keen sense, smell.
Why?
I don't know, I don't know, probably the size of his nose. You seen it? It's our family
You see
nose.
mine?
I love it,
Yeah,
though. It's our family,
yeah.
like all of us. That's how people recognize. I love it to life.
Yeah.
But,
Nothing wrong with big
Yeah,
nostrils.
yeah, and I smell anything before I eat it.
I have a habit of doing that
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's got this.
I can smell it for miles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I smell it, right? So, that's one of my things. And I'm always kind of conscientious of, either a booger in my nose or my breath, kind of smelling.
So which sense would you give up?
I would give up my sense of probably smell. A taste.
I was going to say, you would give up your smell? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I know. But you said, and I thought about it, though, because I'm like, I still want to feel, you know what I mean?
So you want your touch, yeah.
Yeah, and I still want my sensation.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I do rely on my sight,
Yeah.
and hearing. And I was like, I think I could probably give up. Like, it's one of my strongest because I can't hear that well, and I still want to hear. So I was just going through it, but
Okay.
it would be between taste and probably still smell.
And still smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. We're really getting to know.
But yeah, I had to think. I had to go through. Yeah, some of this I'm thinking of a process, and I got to think it out loud first. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm going through my process of thinking.
Well, you know what? I think is one of the good points of the reason why we did this and wanted to do this game, and it's a good experiment on people, and that's sociology, at its best.
Yeah,
Sociology.
writing it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Plus even questions
So-
for yourself. Even when I was writing it made me think.
That's good.
Babe, we're live. That's good. You should come over here. Huh. We should invite Kay on the couch so she could be asking some of these questions, because she go in hard on some of these questions. She should came over here on the couch. Next time she gonna be over here on the couch so she can enjoy she's more confident being behind that, you guys, behind this camera, and y'all gonna hear her talking, but she will not come in front of the camera. We're gonna get her in front, because Chris was shy at first on coming on doing the same thing, but we got him in.
Yeah.
And how many episodes
Still,
now,
yeah.
Chris? You've done like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And I hope you'll come back and keep coming
I
back.
think the questioning is good too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it helps me to,
Yeah, it is, right?
and you got a nice flow to it. So I think maybe
You like it?
Yeah, I think the combination of everything eased it out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
And my daughter playing the violin in the beginning.
It's a whole
Was
family,
that not good?
Family, yeah.
Right?
I think that eased it.
She could really be playing throughout, I had to have her come back and have a couple sets every, come out every like 30 minutes and play a little something,
It was good. Great exercise for her mind as well.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I had, I believe that stimulates your mind, playing music. I had my oldest playing the alto saxophone, and she played that since she was in 6th grade. But sometimes, when kids get out on their own, they just, either you have that desire to continue to play or you just don't.
Mm-hmm.
And her desire was not there to continue. But at least I got some years, and I did her just like I did my daughter, Tamara. Bring her on out and let her play in front of, like, family or friends that would come over.
Yeah.
You know, we got to
back in
embarrass
the
our
day. Go ahead
kids.
out here and dance. Go ahead and dance.
Yeah, because I remember doing that for my parents. You know, they'd be like, come out to my, and do y'all routine when you put the towel on your head. Put the ponytail. Yeah, that's
I did
crazy.
it too.
Yeah, that was my hair.
Not the towel on my head.
You put the towel with the little rubber band, and that was my hair. I thought I was Cher or somebody, Diana Ross.
Performing, singing and dancing.
Performing for my parents. Yeah, me and my friends would do that. Yeah. So the crazy things we do, and now I'm having, you know, my daughter perform for her parents. Yeah. And yes, so, you know, I think traditions like that and things in your family, what do you do that you pass on to your daughter? That you've done as a kid, and now you see yourself doing that with your daughter. Because that's something I do. What do you do?
I don't know. So many things, so many traits that I see. And
that you're like, oh, I did that as a kid.
I see like your stubbornness, but it's different for me watching it now. So like I'm trying to think what one thing can I pinpoint, because she's so argumentative.
Well, pinpoint one. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think that's probably her argumentative nature. To
And she looks just like you.
Yeah, because she questions, so much, and she brings up valid points, and there's times where I
at
used to
5.
think very valid, and I'm like, I don't really know how to answer that one. You got me on this one, but I'm gonna get back to you, So. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She challenges me.
Oh, this is okay. I like this one. Let's go with this. What is the strangest thing you believed as a child? I love it. Okay.
Child of it. I guess the Tooth Fairy or Chucky was going to get me.
I remember that. Oh, God. Did you watch them all?
Yeah, I mean, when you catch it at a late night, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I got to see how they beat them. And then it's like you keep turning from it, then you turn back because you're curious, then you turn back again. And then it was like, oh my gosh, now I'm hooked and scared. And my mom wouldn't let me in her room, so I had to, set up camp, because I was like, if I scream, she's not going to hear me. I'm going to have to camp outside her door just in case, But yeah.
And did you camp outside the door a few times?
I absolutely did. I sure did. Because I was, granted my room was like right next door, and I was like, she's not going to get here in time, or she might not hear me.
So you'd be right there on the floor with your little cover pillow.
Yeah, she kicked me out of her room if I snuck in there. My mom would.
Did you have a favorite stuffed animal that you slept with?
No, but I had a blanket. And I still got it to this day. It's my Alf blanket.
Alf?
Yeah, it's my Alf. It was
really?
It was a comforter my mom actually loved.
Wait, did it have like an Alf head or something out of it?
No, it was just Alf.
Okay.
Pictures of Alf on the blanket.
Okay.
It was a comforter. And then what happened was all the stuffing came out of it, and it wasn't a comforter anymore, so I just ripped it all the way off and just made it like a little sheet.
Did you? And you still used it?
I still have it to this day. And
oh,
my
you
mom,
still have
because
it?
I thought she had threw it away one day, and I almost fussed her out. Not fussed her out, it was my mom, but
right.
I was upset about
and
it, and I expressed my
Were you
upset.
like, Mom?
Yeah.
Where's my Alf?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Oh yeah. I'm not as attached to it as much as I used to. Probably last.
But
couple years.
okay, but you notice if it's not there.
Oh yeah. I know exactly where it's at.
Wow. That's great. Okay, so that just confirms, everybody does. Kay as well. She attached to a blanket too. I think we all have like something that we're attached to, because I'd be attached to, teddy bear, and I still like stuffed animals. The truth be known, I don't care. Judge me, I don't care. But I like my little stuffed animals. You got to get out the bed, but you know, I like a couple stuffed animals. And when I'm at carnivals, you can't, you know. Yeah, I get them for my kids, and they don't last long. They'll be, you know, they'll start like my daughter's room. You know, I'm sure does London love stuffed animals?
Well, her doll
Or
babies, anything she
her
can
doll
brush their
babies?
hair, do
Okay.
their hair on.
Okay. My daughter growing out of it now. She's 11, but I love having her little, you know, little girly thing. Have all the dolls on the bed and stuff.
Right.
You probably had some dinosaurs, and were you ever into dinosaurs as a kid?
Yeah, I was. I did.
My son went through a dinosaur phase.
Jurassic Park's still one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
But I never had a bunch of toy
No.
dinosaurs. I never had it, but I did like, you know, Jurassic Park, of course.
What was your favorite toy as a kid?
I don't know if I really had a favorite
Like
toy.
Star Wars? Or,
Yeah, no, I don't think I really had a favorite toy though.
no.
I had a blanket. That was about it.
Didn't
That
play
was
Hot
it.
Wheels or dirt bikes or
Yeah, no, I never really had one particular.
no?
No.
So as an only kid, you didn't get into anything mischievous? So was your mama in your behind the entire time,
Yeah.
and you was too scared to do anything wrong?
Something like I think I'll stick with the ladder. And she watches. And I might still get it. I'll stick to the ladder.
Or we don't want to say, 'cause we know mom may be listening.
If I got away with it, I ain't gonna bring it up now.
Oh, good point.
On the
good
tomorrow,
point.
the today, or the future show.
On no show will you ever hear it from Chris about anything about that. What is one guilty pleasure you enjoy too much to give up?
Ice cream. I ain't getting enough ice cream. I love me some ice cream. Guilty pleasure. Yeah. That'll be it.
Man. Ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I like
love
me some
ice cream
sweets.
too.
I mean, I just
That
sweet
is a
in general,
guilty
but, I mean,
pleasure.
and my daughter, she has it honest, and sometimes I get, I guess probably say mad, because she'll wake up in the morning and it's like, some candy? I'm like, did you just come out your mouth like that? Good morning. And you
That was
just
the
good
first
morning,
thing?
Like, you think I get some candy? I'm like, huh? I'm like, and it's just like, it's so convincing. Like, it's just the norm thing to do. Like, I've done it before. Like, I'll actually give you bowls of candy. Like, here, London, take some candy.
She
And
said
she's
it
so
like-
comfortable.
She was
Like,
comfortable
like,
with
it's
it.
just like, yeah, some candy. I'm like,
Like you were just gonna be like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Hold on,
And
let
I-
me go get it.
I have to understand she has it honest, you know, because I have a sweet tooth. Her mother has one, you know, and I have to deal with that, you know. It bothers me.
So when she does have a sweet tooth, what do you give her?
Oh, shoot. She's big on donuts,
Oh, okay.
you know, ice cream.
Now Krispy
It doesn't matter.
Kreme,
If it's
Duck
sweet, if it got some
Dynasty, what's
sweetness
them,
to
Duck
it,
Donuts.
Duck Donuts, we done been there, yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's good too. You know, she just have a natural sweet tooth, and you know, I just wanted to harness it with the vegetables and get the vegetables and the fruits in there though first, and make sure you get those in there, not just.
Oh, yeah. Very important. Vegetables. Do you eat a lot of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to keep you regular. And keep everything else moving up out of you. The vegetables actually help, along, you know,
That's
push
true.
that meat and all that stuff that you eat out. So,
Are you aware of your feelings as they arise?
not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes it's a little delayed reaction. I'm like, dang, I wish
Depending
I'd
on
have
the
handled that a little
situation, or
different. Well, I mean, yeah, depending on the situation or how, you know, things, you know, conspire. You know, it's just like, okay.
yeah.
But no, I'm not always aware. You know, sometimes things hit you a little delayed. That's all it is. Just, you know, I guess it hits you when it's supposed to hit you because you might react it different. You know, had it hit you the way when it's supposed to. So.
Okay. I want to ask you some failure questions. How How well do you handle your own and others' mistakes? I was about to say another word, but I was like, mistakes.
How well
Because
do
it's
I?
failures.
How well do I handle others' mistakes and failures and my failures?
I
Just
think
'cause-
it's your failures
All right, no, say
and
I
your
can't-
mistakes.
Well, mine.
And others. We can go both ways with this. I don't mind hearing both.
All right. Well, mine things. Well, others is quick. I don't really like. Sometimes I may get a little upset, but I can't. That's based off of my expectations. So I have nothing to be mad at, but other than myself most of the time, because that's usually, I try to remove because it's based off expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a judgment thing sometimes. But yeah, those do affect at times. But mine's, I think I deal with mine's a lot easier
Do
because
you?
I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's me, and I understand that's a process. I understand who it affects. So like, long as I'm not letting anyone else down, per se, and it's just me, per se, I'm able to pick myself up, dust myself off, and rehabilitate myself back to get, so like I know what the process is, I'm okay with, I understand that's a learning curve, I can coach myself back into the game and pick it back up, but when I fail and let other people down, it affects me differently, of course,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, I think I handle my failures very well because I use them as all learning lessons.
Have you
Actually,
always handled them very well?
Yep.
Or did you have to go on experiences that you've faced
I always
and
take
learned
Mhm.
to handle?
I think I always took
Your
them. Well,
failures.
I'm assuming that I always took them decently well. I think probably a lot better than most, maybe. In the sense where the other alternative is, can be extreme. So that's why I say extreme could be, killing yourself, so like that's why I kind of vary,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think not everyone has been, peachy and, every one of my failures, my marriage per se or something like that, I say I handle those things like that the best, even moments with my child, and I feel like, as you're learning, it's not really
I was
failure,
gonna
it's
say
still
that
life learned
At
lessons.
least you're learning by
Right,
the
right.
mistakes and failures. You'd like to think, that you should learn from those and make better choices.
Because it's not really a failure if you learn it. It's a failure if you quit, to me. You know what I'm saying? So
I would have to
if I
agree with
failed and I stopped doing it and I let it defeat me, then it was a failure. But failures are just,
that. Especially if you didn't try again, like
Yeah.
you said, let it defeat you and not go back and
Yeah, then you fail.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
get knocked down, brush yourself off, get up and try it again. Push even harder,
right.
right? That's what we learn in life, especially. But I think you get it right once you become an adult. But some people it takes a little longer,
I think it's a lifelong thing because I
Yeah.
think we never really truly
Constantly
get it.
learning.
Yeah. You never reach the peak of the pinnacle, and then when you reach the peak of the pinnacle of one specific thing that you may have mastered,
There's
the
something
objective
else.
is to go down, and humble yourself to learn something else. You never, So, yeah, that's the ebbs and flows of your life.
Which goes in there's always something else to learn,
I think that's what we're here for, right? To experience
Gotta make
life and to learn.
mistakes so you can learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, good answer. Are you open to hearing feedback?
Yes. That's quick, easy.
Which goes into, do you take criticism well?
Oh yeah, because I can't. I'm confident in myself, in the sense where I might not hang on your every word, but I do need the feedback to evaluate, because if I get enough of, you know, somebody like telling me the same thing, then I'm like, okay, well, 8 different people said the same thing, man. Like, they don't even know each other. Like, so this must be something that is on you or in you, you know. So yeah, I definitely, that's growth. You know what I mean? That's that humbling experience that you have to be not afraid. I'm actually in the middle of a book, The 50th Law, with 50 Cent and Robert Greene. And same guy wrote Mastery and 48 Laws, and it actually talks, you know, a little bit about those different things and aspects of life.
Is this an audio book, Chris?
Yeah.
'Cause I know you really, you prefer the audio.
Yeah, I do. Just for me, because it
Not that has
easily
anything
helps.
to do with questioning, but
No,
you know,
I
I
mean,
know
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Some people just prefer, you know, they get more out of listening to it, and you know, versus actually reading. So, is that your way of learning? Like, did you learn, you know, in school where you know, one, I know that when I went to, you know, college, you know, I had to put the recorder on the desk for, you know, so I can go back and hear these 3-hour lectures, you know. So, is that something that you do? You, as far as the audio books versus you actually reading the book,
I do.
do you get more out of it?
I do get what fits my life. So while I'm on my job or
It's more on the
sometimes
go.
riding, it complements my lifestyle. So I don't have the time really to spend the leisure of reading, but I still want the growth and the knowledge aspect. So while I can do one, and sometimes it's a bad and a good thing depending on how you utilize your time, but we spend so much time multitasking on so many different things that we don't have the chance to focus on one. So while I'm driving,
So
at
it goes
times,
back to you need that 34 hours.
right? But you find ways to blend it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
while I'm at work, you know, and I'm doing my dentistry lab work, you know, I have 8 hours where I spend there.
Oh, that's perfect.
Where I
Yeah,
can throw that
yes.
on and I can listen to an audio book. And then what I do when it's really good, I'll go to Barnes and Nobles and they'll buy it then. And then I re-listen to it and then highlight certain sections in it that means something, take notes down. And that's how I'll go. Now I done listen to it, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times. Because they say basically a good book, you read, you know, multiple times because you're not going to get everything out of it the first time or the second time. And it's not really about your library, how many books you got, it's how many, you know, good quality ones that you read. So, yeah, I do a lot of audio books.
Nothing wrong with that. Can you own your responsibility in a problem?
Yes. Yeah. If I see it, or if somebody explains it to me and it makes sense to me, of course. But I think I am very rational. I like to believe that. So,
Are you?
yeah,
All the time?
I like to believe so. I like to believe.
Is it easy to be rational with London?
But I have to.
It's
I have to-
5-year-old daughter.
Right, but I have to remember though that she's 5. So it was like, you know, the rational mind.
Does
doesn't
she
really
try to
kick
be
in until
rational
7.
with you, should I say?
Oh yeah, yeah, she does, and it's allowed, you know, because I have to understand. She has to know her limits, and she's trying to.
What's the
Identify
silliest
herself.
thing she's asked you?
She's.
The funniest thing that just made you
Oh.
laugh and you couldn't even answer because it was just so funny.
I was gonna say the candy thing.
The
That's
candy
always,
thing?
yeah.
Because it was so early.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, you know, where that come from.
Like first thing in the morning. She must have been dreaming about it.
She done had some.
She was
other
dreaming
funny
about some
things.
candy.
Yeah, she's, you know.
She was like, Daddy, you have some candy? She was dreaming about that candy.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's the first thing.
She was
like,
hoping you was
just
feeling her.
eyes
You would feel
open.
her pain.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what I said. It was like eyes open and candy. You know.
That is so, you know, and that's so 5, you know, to be so, you know, innocent. But kids at that age, you know, they're very blunt with their words, and, you know, they say what's on their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been that way? Is where you've been blunt with your words and say what's on your mind in certain situations at work?
Yeah, pretty passive in that sense. Where no, I don't have a voice in that aspect.
No.
No, kind of display in other ways most of the time, but I'm learning to do that a little bit more. I think that's something that
What
I
are
need
you
to work
learning?
on. A voice, more so my opinions out loud. Because a lot of times
You don't usually.
no, not as much. It's because I always kind of think the whole thing out. Like, okay, what's the outcome of me voicing it? Where it goes from there? Or am I just voicing it out of emotion? Or, you know, how far does this go? Me versus voicing this part.
If you know something's wrong, do you voice it then?
Yeah, but once again, I do try to strategize the situation. I've always learned that growing up, basically, you know, strategize the situation. So, but yeah, I
Yes,
see
that's
what's
important in your line of work. Also, being an entrepreneur, voicing things as they are problems and situations as they arise.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that something that you have to have crafted, being an entrepreneur? Because you come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So voicing your opinion really probably comes easy now because you say you were an introvert. So kind of like, you're an introvert, but you come from family entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so it's different types of entrepreneurs. So I got some that are just, you know, for lack of a better word, a dog. You know what I mean? They just get out there and get after it and, you know, aggressively hit the streets and, you know, that type of shark, as you can call it, that type, you know what I mean? And then there's some more passive ones, you know, but we've all had different experiences and there's different types of, you know, go-getters, you know what I mean? So, you just have to find your role and find your piece, and that's why it's always kind of good to find partners, you know, even that's opposite of what you are, because it'll fit that puzzle, that piece for you. So, like, yeah, if I didn't have to, or not have to be the face and the voice, so I can't afford to be an introvert doing the business, and having a grand opening and having, and then hiring a model to be that and to be the voice and the face, like, okay, let me not hire a model and put some face on that. I have to put myself out there to do that. And my child, you know what I mean? She's very good. Oh my gosh, that's remarkable.
She's very supportive,
Oh my
right?
gosh, she is. She at this event that we went to, and she's so sharp because she grabs the cards and she'll go and start. She's like, hey, Dad, can I hand her? I'm like, yeah. And she does it on her own. I don't talk to her. I'm like, she'll go grab my cards and she'll go pass them out to all the vendors.
Does
You know, she does it on her own at just about everyone she comes to. She does that. She's quick to grab the business cards and she'll sit out there, family screens, cold water. She tells her friends at school about it. So she's very, you know, and that's great. You know, it's a great feeling.
Did you always take her to events with you?
Mm-hmm. Because when
From the time you started?
When I started it, her mother was out to sea. So she's been with the process since the beginning, you know. So, you know, me learning how to divide my time between, you know, her and starting a business, and you know, it's been hard at that point. But
Well, you doing your thing. You doing your thing. You just keep up the good work because you are definitely planting a seed there. That's your future entrepreneur there.
Yeah. I see my mom,
That's
get it
definite.
and hustle. Yeah, like, so
Oh.
that's the best thing you can actually teach your kids, OJT.
Mm-hmm.
Trade school, if you send your kids, like, they're learning that as they, grow up. And, they want to be included.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's important. So when you were like, oh, violin, play music,
Right,
good. It's like, yes, on to something. We're going to do that.
Then it forces them to, they use their creativity of something they like. Something that, and then it's supporting each other, which ultimately strengthens the family, family unit, right? And that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
And then it's not work, you're like, how you find time? Well, it's easy to find time and squeeze 36 into 24 when I'm with my family and I'm enjoying selling water and enjoying traveling, and we're all working together. Kay over here filming, hosted, and your daughter's playing. Everybody's involved.
Everybody's having a part.
Right.
Yes.
And it's like, are we working here? Or are we,
Yeah.
we enjoying life and we're doing,
Yeah,
what we're supposed
doing
to
it
do.
together
Right.
is good.
Should be
Everybody
that
play
way.
their part. Yeah, and
Grow together.
Grow
You and
together.
everybody grow together.
I like that. Yeah. Good. Okay. Who is the biggest pack rat you know?
That's it.
You've asked that one.
Did I ask that one? Did I?
Yeah.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
And you said your mom.
Yeah.
Now, why did I laughed at that like that was a fresh question. Didn't I? I was like, because it was still funny again. Okay, I picked up that card again. Okay, let's go to, ego. Wait a minute, did I see ego? Oh. Do you try to keep your ego in check?
Yeah, I try to. But I have to.
Did I ask that one?
Nah.
Okay. Thought y'all was about to say, tomorrow you didn't ask that one again. Mm-mm.
I mean, that's funny too, because I just heard something about ego
Did you?
on this, in the book. I was thinking to myself, like, I do try to keep it in check, but I understand that it's a safety net for me, it's a cushion. So like when I do have those failures, if I do have those failures, that ego helps to cushion the fall of that, if that makes sense. So like, if I get the negative feedbacks or the not so good things, too big of one, can deflate your bubble if you're not a realist and, not used to hearing those things. But if you're used to hearing it, the ego may pump you up. So when you do get those, you just utilize it as a fall from kind of grace at a point where it's like, okay, all right, now I'm ready to build myself and blow myself back up again. Make my balloon tougher. Because, nobody's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself, so you have to inform some type of ego. We made to look at it as it's a negative, and it's a confidence booster to yourself. Like, yo, you got to big up yourself,
So you think is too much ego kind of cocky?
It depends on what you're in. Like, it worked well for Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he's undefeated, so like, you have to, depending on what you use and how you use it, and, like, if you're a pastor, I don't think it might be a good thing, so, depending on the nature of your business. If you're a model, you need to have the ego and the confidence, because critics may shoot you down for, when you're wearing an actor or whatever, so, yeah, depending on the nature of your business and your job or level of entrepreneur.
Okay. Do you encourage the success of others?
Yes, absolutely. Because me, I'm right in the middle of. It's one of those things, like, I don't want to miss anybody's greatness. I would love to be a part of everybody. That's one of the dream of mine, is to affect so many different businesses and people's lives and watch them grow and blossom. Like, You know, even if I don't make it to the level that I may think, you know what I mean? It's like to see others that go and shoot. It's like riding on a wave and going up. Everybody's coming up with you, and then when it hits the land, you never know who's going to be further because a wave eventually comes down. That's just, you know, that's what it is. It goes forward, but it comes down. So
Comes down pretty
when
hard.
you land that, you know, it's just like, hey, oh, you up there? Hey, you know, what's good? All right. Look out, don't forget, you know. That's all it is.
Yeah. Okay. Do you express gratitude regularly?
Yes. Yes. I probably should do it even more though. I think I do it a lot now, but I think you know, because you can never really, I think, show enough. Because you don't want somebody to think that they're underappreciated. I'd rather you think that you're overly appreciated than under. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, you just tell it to me too much. You know what I mean? Versus you feel some type of way and then you don't know how, you know what I mean? You know, so you're not over the top, but you know, that's kind of where you want to be at.
Yeah.
Versus too little and then get less help, less work. You know.
Okay. You getting tired of my questions?
But I could go for some water.
Huh?
Can I get my water
Okay.
real quick?
Well, we're gonna take a 2-minute break, you guys. We're gonna take a 2-minute break, but we're gonna keep the recording. Chris, you get your water, but we are gonna keep the recording so I can talk. Chris is getting him some water, you guys. We getting thirsty answering all my questions.
Yeah, Family Springs.
Did you say Family Springs?
Family Springs.
Yeah. Can I have some? I think I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna steal some of Taste Drink. Oh, do I have some here? Oh, look, I was about to get up and go get some too. I was gonna get. It's just that I have. Oh, I have a drink too here.
Yeah.
Oh, I have 2 drinks.
Yeah, I do.
I'm double fisted. Well, I'm gonna put this. Did that sound right? That probably didn't sound right. Sorry, guys.
Hey, you home? It's your show.
This is good. I forget what it's called, you guys. What I'm drinking is
Rum chata.
rum chata. Rum chata. It's pretty good. I like it. Pretty tasty.
It is.
You guys should try it. I don't think it has that much alcohol in it though. So if you're looking to get lit with rum chata, it's probably not going to happen. You might need to add a little rum to the rum chata in order to get that ultimate achievement if that's what you want. If you want to just relax, like, you know, drink it like a glass of wine, then you in there. Okay. I'm going to ask Chris another question. Chris. Drum roll. No, I'm just kidding. Do you try to express more positive thoughts than negative ones?
Yes. Absolutely. We're an extension of our thoughts. Our thoughts become us. And they shape our reality. So, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Dr. Bruce Lipton talks a lot about it, you know, thoughts and, you know, I don't want to get into a whole spill about thoughts, but yeah, absolutely. Positivity creates and shapes your environment and everything, even when things that do happen wrong and bad in your life, you know, your thoughts can keep you there or they can elevate you up out of that situation. So, yeah.
Ooh, that's good. Are you neither too harsh nor too lax with yourself? Which one are you? Or either
Probably
one.
too lax. I'll probably go with too lax at times because I enjoy a lot about the lifestyle sometimes. Probably a little bit more than probably I should because I think I can probably even go even harder, you or
Really?
be even more disciplined. More disciplined, I'd say.
So you
I'll
were
probably
hard
go
on
hard, but
yourself?
I can probably go be a little more structured in this one. So I would say lax, because if I were probably more structured, then I probably would get more done in probably less time. So
Hmm. Good answer. Let's see. Would we give Chris a point for that? Y'all let me know. Do you try to suspend judgment of other people, places, and other things?
suspend judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't attempt to judge. To be fair about it, like other than your first impression, I guess. But then even though I know that's a first impression, I can't really judge. I know that part, because I know there's different dimensions. So to anybody, and who you see at work ain't gonna be who you see outside of work, or there's different layers. So I try to remove myself, because the judgment then leads to expectation. So once I make a judgment, then I expect certain things. Then I'm allow myself to be let down, which brings different type of range of emotions that you have against somebody. So don't put yourself in a situation like that.
So you never get in those situations?
Yeah, I try not to judge. Try not to. And when I say try, because it's a lot of lessons, like 36 now. So a lot of trained and learned behavior up until this point. Trying to reverse my thought process, my train of thought. So it's a battle. It's a battle.
Which animals scare you the most?
Probably go with snakes,
So
which is crazy.
scare me too.
Yeah, but
Spiders.
we're taught to fear them, and I think like, they bring wisdom. They're on Egyptian walls, and they have great representation of spiritualities and different types of religions. So it's like they're in the Garden of Eden, and snakes and that, and we taught to fear them, and I have a fear of them, but it's crazy how our vision of them.
How some worship snakes, and then how some
Right.
fear them.
It teach you two lessons.
Yeah.
You keep your grass cut short, and fear the danger, and respect it, so you can see it when it comes. If
Because
you
you
don't,
can see that on the shows, those documentaries where they were, training snakes to, come out, and and the second they started fearing, as they were doing the show, you saw someone, I saw some documentary, then that's when they started biting them.
Mhm.
But he was just concentrating on doing the show and making the snake rise, it was just a beautiful sight to see, and it was no fear, and the snake was, fine, and did the show, I'm calling it a show, but, I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But you know what I'm talking about, and so you think if we didn't fear them, what would be the outcome? If you didn't fear snakes, what?
Well, I mean, like I don't I'm not one come out. I'm not going. Oh man, it's a snake. I know some people that pick them up and all that.
You
I
never
just don't
picked
like
them up
anything.
as a kid?
I've touched one and held one before, but like I said, so I'm not that type of fearful. But like I said, one just come out, I get away from it. So I don't. I respect them at the distance, and I leave it at that. But anything that moves, that has the possibility to move faster than me, I don't mess with too tough.
So bugs, like those fat water bugs, or spiders. What about those?
like I said, spiders I know ain't gonna outrun me or, you know, kind of get, like, I don't fear anything, like I said, that I fear anything that has the possibility to move faster than me.
Well, they all have a possibility to move faster, right?
But not than me. I'm talking about than me. A spider ain't gonna outrun me, and they ain't gonna shoot a web on me. You know, unless it's Spider-Man. You know, you know. So I'm not kind of worried. I'm worried about that. But the snake.
Well, the big old water bugs, those are outrunning.
It depends on where I'm at. Now, if I'm in a different culture, you know, environment, you know, then with spiders might be, you know, the brown recluses, and they might be very heavy, and then now it's on the back of my mind, on the front of my mind, so now it awakes my consciousness to them, so then I may fear them a little bit more,
But other than that,
but yeah, you know,
snakes are at the top of the list. Huh?
Yeah, if I had to probably pick one, I'd probably pick that because I can't think of anything else, you know. And I'm a city, you know.
That you couldn't outrun. Huh?
Right. Right, yeah, because it's just going to, and they move pretty fast.
Yeah,
so,
they
like,
do.
Yeah, they move pretty fast.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's okay. Are you more likely to avoid conflict or engage in it head on?
Avoid it. I'm really big in conflict. And, you know, people always say, oh, I want to be happy. I want something to do what makes you happy or do it. I'm more likely to avoid it because I don't want to be in a down spot or a down place. I don't want anybody else to bring me in. Now, you know, if I can't avoid it, then it's something completely different. And you get a different side of me. But then that's because I know I've tried to avoid it. One quick story. So, growing up, you know, even as a teenager, into, you know, my early adulthood, 20s, like I had, you know, homies that I would hang with, and one of the things that, how I knew how I can handle myself was that guys would actually look to stick up for me, like, regardless of where I was at, you know, because it was like, you know, if Chris is in the fight, you know what I mean, I got your back, because I know you ain't started. You know what I mean? So it was kind of that type of way, like, yo, if we see something going down, we automatically in it, man, or you come get me, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, I don't want you. My whole thought process was, well, I don't want you getting no beat. You got a wife and kids, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't going to be able to take care of you. You know, like, that's my whole, I think all that out, you know what I mean? But that, like, people knew who I was. Like, I'm not looking for no problem. And I don't want to, you know, by all means, but like I said, now I know how to handle myself, me being the only child and all that. Like, I've avoided it this way, I did this, I did that. Okay, now it's my turn, or now, you know, I'm not no pushover neither, you know. So.
Well, and that's good, because you can't be not in this.
Nah, I'm not that, but, you know, I'm passive in the sense where I take as much as I think I can, you know, take. And I think that's the human. But until you push to do something else, of course.
Yeah, that's true. What is something about yourself that you hope will change, but probably never will? Key word, probably never will.
That's a big one. I never will.
So amazing,
I don't know, because there's so many things that I fight off of, you know, trying to change it. To say I never will is basically putting myself in a box of a limitation to say that, you know, I'm already defeated in it. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like labeling defeat on whatever it is that, and that's probably like an easy or bad way of getting out of it, but that's honestly how I think of it though. You know, like, I don't want to never put limitations on, you know, I never want to be categorized in a box, so I'm always going to, you know, change it,
Well, maybe that's it then. That's what it would be, because you said it'd be kind of like admitting to it like a failure. So, which makes sense, I think. You know, I think it does. But that would
It's a
be
good question.
Mm-hmm. Definitely makes you think.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
I really like the line of questioning. When was the last time you really pushed yourself to your physical limits? Physical limits.
I like to say it on leg day.
It's an old leg day.
I mean, because I do work out, so I do try to do it that. But probably when I started fasting and working out at the same time, so I had the concept of I cannot work out on an empty stomach. I have to put some food in my belly.
Did
or
you
something.
try to push yourself?
So I pushed
Is that-
myself through that, and those were convincing, and that's why I said when I was drinking, the family springs, the water and all that, I was actually and fasting and eating a vegetarian diet. I set my mind to the point where, and my body to the point where, yeah, you can still work out and get through and do this, and felt good, going through
Yeah.
that process. Yeah, absolutely good. That was probably one of the more physical times. I guess in boot camp, pushing things to a different level. So anytime you find
Oh,
different
that's right, because you
challenges,
were in the Navy.
right.
Right.
So that was a different challenge. Before that was in football.
Because you pushed yourself. Then, so there's been several,
Yeah,
situations.
so like every time you come to a different stage or a different part in your life,
Mhm.
I believe, it's a different part. Like I haven't played flag football in a while, so if I get out there and start moving my body in different ways, it's going to be sore because
yeah.
I've put myself through a different physical.
You got and you getting old, Chris. You got limitations, We all getting old, though.
Yeah.
Not just you.
Yeah.
We all get
Getting
old.
older.
Yes. We're all getting older. We can't stop that, right? We can't stop time. It's going to happen. Whether we like it or not, it's going to happen. Chris, what do you think about
But you do get to
more...
choose how it happens. I have to say that.
You get to choose?
How it happens. How you age. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the time in the process that happens, but how you go and get to that point, how you feel, how you look, as you go through those stages, you get to control that. That's yours.
And it's just unfortunate. Some people, take that for granted. That time. Time is so precious. So very precious. That some people just take that for granted. And you never want to have regrets on woulda, coulda, shoulda in this amount of time. So make use of your time wisely and do what you want to do in life, because you blink and that's 10 years gone. I feel like I was just 10 years younger yesterday.
Oh, you look good.
You know.
Look fabulous.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. You look fabulous too, my brother. Fabulous. But I was asking you ready for this other question? I got a couple of them for you. You see, we got questions.
Kay told me how many she had. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to. When you're ready to hit that red light, when you tapping out, you let me know. Are you more inclined?
Now I have to tell. I got to. You gonna make me?
Yeah.
hit the
Oh
quick
yeah,
button.
yeah. He got to tap out.
See, you gonna make me quick.
I think Chris gonna tap out before I will.
Oh, look, is it reverse psychology?
Yeah.
I think Kay's tired over there.
Kay's tired. Don't blame it on
I tell you
Kay.
what,
Wait a
Kay, you
minute.
tap out.
Well, Kay might tap out.
Tap out, Kay. You tap out, Kay.
Are you more inclined to build your own empire or unleash the potential of others?
I like that. I want to unleash the power in others because I feel like it's greater in numbers.
Ooh,
You unleash the power in others,
yes.
that automatically builds you. Automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that. That's a good one. but yeah, definitely. I would like to.
That rum chata got me a little hot.
A little bit of drink.
Yeah, that's a little hot. It is. Kay's laughing at me. Wait a minute. Look, I start fanning like, wait a minute, did Chris answer the question? What? It's either I'm hot or I'm having a hot flash, y'all. One or the other because of mold. So, one or the other. It's either I'm having a hot flash.
It was very warm. I think I feel the AC kicking in, though.
Is it kicking in?
I think
It's kicking in slow because we both a little shiny.
yeah.
I feel a little shiny. I feel like you feeling a little. You feeling a little. Okay, Chris, what do you think about more than anything else? What's the one thing that you can say you think about more than anything else?
Strengthening my mind, my knowledge, increasing my knowledge.
Not
I
winning.
guess, huh?
You don't think about winning?
Oh yeah, I do. I really do. But that's one of those things that breaks that commercial break.
I
So
had to
in
mess
between
with you.
that, yeah, no, it do.
I
Oh
had to
yeah.
mess with you.
No, and that's real. Yeah, that's real. I do.
Kay's over there whispering. She's like, so I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, she was whispering.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But I realized the reality of what I'm chasing is just, it has to be real for them. So like if you're gonna come along with me on the journey, you can either you riding or you driving, you know. And
Well, if you're riding, then you still have to help with navigation.
see what I'm saying? So you gotta be.
You
part
know,
of,
you
so
can't
you gotta
just
be a part
ride
of-
and be looking out the
you're
window.
part of the destination.
I'd like
But
you
if
to be
you're
part of
driving-
the destination, not just looking out the window.
Right. Map, something like that,
Yeah.
part of it. Right. So, but if you're driving, we can still be headed the same course, but it's just a little bit of different. You in your own lane, I'm in my own lane.
Mm-hmm.
But we maybe still headed the same direction.
And we
so,
still headed in the same
yeah,
direction.
so like understanding that, still with the physical needs and with that, I still be looking at the
I like how
keep
you
it
said
real.
that
Yeah.
so professionally.
Yeah, I mean, like
Still
the
with
physical,
the
because
physical needs.
Hey, look, we ain't gonna deny it. We ain't gonna deny it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it
we're
helps.
adults here. I mean, it is what it is. We're adults.
It helps
It
quiet the
happens.
mind. You know what I mean? At
Yeah.
times, like Martin said, sometimes you can be paying bills and then he's like, chilling like a mom. Chilling like a mom.
Well, that is true.
Martin, you remember
And then you
Martin?
just- yeah, I remember
He was
that.
like, yeah.
I remember that episode too, so that was so funny about it because he just chilling with it. Was like,
Chilling.
yes.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, that's true.
But like I said, it's a thing where you if you look at spiritual strength and all those different types, even like we talk about these popes, I mean these fathers and stuff molesting kids, and they're trying to harness their sexual energy and power, and like it's a lot to it, and it's everywhere, and it's all around us, and because it's so how we hide it, and so embarrassed by it here, it doesn't liberate us. So people yearn for it a lot more versus where I spent time in Spain, and you can
Oh, did you?
yeah, and being on the beach with naked women, you looking around and it's like
How naked were they?
I mean they
Oh,
at least top at the most, but
Oh, it was
for us,
nude beach.
yeah, nude beach, yeah.
Oh, okay. They have one like that in California too.
In California.
Black's Beach.
Oh,
Yeah, San Diego.
Right. And see, you know, but for there, you know, when you could tell the Americans, we like, you know, our heads is just moving.
Yeah.
But the kids are just running around. They don't
Yeah,
see nothing.
they
Nobody
don't.
else is. Everybody else like, you know, they playing volleyball, and we like,
Right.
she's playing volleyball. You know, and
Yeah.
it's like, you
It's
know, that
natural.
type of thing.
It's
Yeah.
like-
So, but because it's open and it's free, nobody really, you know, makes a big deal out of it.
Right.
But over here, it's so and then it makes the porn industry that much more bigger. Because,
It's open and free in San Diego too. You can just go down there. You know,
Right.
people look at you weird if you have clothes on
Right.
that beach because it is a nude beach.
Right.
So that's, you know, when they're looking at you there. So that's the same
So
thing.
it shows that
become-
you're closed-minded to why are you even here, and it makes
Right.
you feel like an outcast.
Mhm.
You know, it was like, yo, you out here on this nude beach now. You feel like a perv.
Yeah.
It says, you know, and that's kind of, you know,
Right, because they're
you know,
like, why does he got clothes on? What are you looking at? He got, you know?
what you got to hide,
Right.
You know, and then when those things like, you know, you get may fantasize and people, oh, you on the nude beach, but you take the bad with the good because it's some, you know, it might be some 80-year-olds out there, and you know, it ain't all just hot models that's out there, you know, and so, you know, it's people
No. It's like
Free as
300 pounds.
that, yeah, it
People
ain't, yeah,
out there
some
just
stuff that you
letting
may
it-
not want to see.
Letting it hang out.
Yeah.
That's confidence at its best.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you have to be really confident in your own self, in your own skin, and so you should either even if you have clothes on or not, you know, feel comfortable in your own skin. Are you comfortable in your own skin?
Yes. I'm getting more and more better in tune with it. Like, yeah, I
Was
think
there ever a time when you weren't? Because you know there was a time where dark skinned brothers wasn't in.
Oh,
You, you know, there was a phase where it was, you know, light skinned brothers, the pretty boys, you know, the light skin they was in, and then the chocolate brothers came back.
is this a
So-
therapy session when I get deep inside and then I start hurting all over again? Like, that's what I feel like. Oh my God.
It's called the Tomorrow Show.
I
Ain't
know
that what you
did,
said?
yeah.
It's
Like,
called. Go ahead,
Oh shit,
Andrew.
okay. Yeah, we gonna make you cry. We gonna try to find where you get inside, deep inside. You know, y'all Dustin brothers, y'all want in. Y'all need to get in. Remember that? Remember that? Is that a tear?
Wait a minute, but I can say the same thing because you know, it was a phase where y'all just wanted to date, you know, the light skinned girls, and then
You
y'all
light-skinned?
reverted back to the chocolate sisters. You know, I think you don't think as men y'all went through them phases too.
No, we did. No, but
See?
I doubt. Yeah, it's funny though. Nah, it's good.
Because men, you know, women went through it and men went through it too. So when was the light skinned women in, and then when we got the boot?
Oh, when was it like? I don't never remember light skinned women not being there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean, light skinned women always been a thing.
Really?
Yeah, it was. So
Maybe because
So
where are you from? You from Jersey?
yeah, I'm from up north. Yeah, I'm from Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, but so like, I believe that depiction is based off of stereotypes and the racism
Yeah.
type of era where white is pure, and the lighter your skin was, the more you were accepted. And
That's
and
true.
so
Yeah.
like there were bigger things. They even have tests where they show kids that they show them a black doll baby and a white doll baby, and they will pick the white doll
That's
baby.
true.
and
Yeah,
pretty.
I saw
So,
that.
like, that is a mindset.
And they were
thing
even
where-
asking the kids why.
why,
you
and
know.
they was like, oh, she's pregnant, So that part, you have to think of that's kind of over time, and we're basically trained in that thought process where.
Mhm.
So like that's what pinned light skin against dark skin, and I'm better than you because there's a teacher that did I forgot, Ohio or whatever it was. YouTube because it's a phenomenal thing that she did back in the 70s. Blue Eyed. It was so, she had like all the kids that were blue eyed, and she pinned them against the brown eyed kids, and then she switched it up on them the next day to basically show, you know, forms of racism and how that, how kids actually started to feel some type of way, you know, because the blue eyed kids had more privileges than the brown eyed, and she basically did a social experiment with it back in the 70s. Phenomenal. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, so. Yeah, during that time frame, Light Skinned Brothers was in, and you know, I had to try extra hard. So to come in, I had my man like back in high school.
You know when Al B. Shore was big.
Yeah, I mean, and this was, we just had to try that much harder. So like, I had to make sure my clothes was extra fresh. I had to make sure I was in shape, you know what I mean, a little bit. Like, you know, light skin man, you can be a little chubby, you know what I mean?
And they still look good.
Yeah.
They be like, how you get these women?
And I had the hair, my junk. So when we all went out, I had to make sure my junk was tight, fresh. You got on something that you might not got on. You know, I got to step apart a little bit, you know. And then you had your different phase, you know what I mean?
Do you think that kind of relates to the workforce as far as being... as far as the color of your skin, does that relate in any way, do you think? Because as you're saying it, I'm like, I wonder if that's kind of a thing we deal with being black at work. You know, whether you get treated a certain way because of the color of your skin, you know, does this dark-skinned person get treated differently than me? I'm light-skinned. So is there a difference in the way you think the doctors or anyone perceives you in the corporate world?
I think at one point in time it did have those heavy implications, but as for now, I'm still pretty sure it's probably a little bit more indirect, so it's probably a little more behind the scenes, or maybe, you know, not as much as it was in the past, but I'm sure it's just not all the way disappeared and gone. But yeah, I'm sure those types of, because what you're indoctrinated with as a kid is kind of hard to, like, you know, and then you've been over a period of time to have that and base that belief in that theory, so you done based your life on something at some point. To go against it, it takes basically a large momentum switch of the pendulum to go back the other way. So you have to stop something from traveling in one direction to apply enough equal to the same amount of pressure to swing it back the other way to get the, you know, the turnaround. So, but yeah, you know, for those that were raised that way or had that thought process.
Have you experienced racism?
Not to the point where I can say no. I done heard some stories like, you know, I might have been called the N-word and certain things, but like I done heard some stuff, man, that, you know, it's like, oh, that's all you've been called the N-word before. Like I've had spit in my face, done, you know, been in, you know, all out fights.
Did you say spit in your face?
No, not for me, but I'm saying for other people.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, yo, just to be called an N-word, like, yo, you gotta, like, that doesn't faze you. You know what I mean? And, you know, knowing what other people been through, nah, I can't say I've really experienced it.
When you say it doesn't faze you, what part of the racism doesn't faze you?
Oh, the name calling. Because I'm not going to give you the power that you use to identify me with if I know that what I am and I believe in what I am and who I am. I'm not going to give your word power and dominion over me. I'm just not going to do that. So.
What will you do if London faces racism in school?
Baby, as long as they don't put their hands on you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know, you're beautiful. Tell her that all the time. Baby has confidence in herself. You know what I mean? And you know, and just I always kind of instill that in her to have that confidence. You know, sometimes it's very high where it's like, hold on, baby, I got to bring this down a little bit. But you know what I mean? But I always make sure that I instill that in her because, like I said, that goes back to the ego thing. And as long as you have faith and knowledge in who you are and yourself, you know, you don't get that power to somebody else to have that over you, no matter what. You know.
That's good. And London is your only child, right? Okay. Okay. So you didn't experience, you said, growing up in classes or work or as a child, racism or any.
No, I can't say. Like I said, I grew
So
up
you
in
were
Jersey.
fortunate to.
Yeah.
Was the majority, Terry, you grew up in, was that majority black or?
Mixed. Yeah, it was mixed. Yeah, Irish and Polish, and, you know, Italians, a lot of Italians. So, and you know, which I understand in the South, you know, like white were all white, where our whites were categorized up north. You know what I mean? So, you know, Polish and Jewish and Irish. You know what I mean? Like they had their own groups and communities to which they, you know, really kind of belong. So like where, you know, Irish, Polish, and all that, they're just all considered as white in the South. You know, so as one group, and that's all the best. So I didn't really look at it in that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you don't hear that. Like, you know, you come down to the more southern states, you don't.
Because they're all ganged up against that. And then I even think of gangs in New York. And, you know, those, you know, like they were broken up. Those are all different independent gangs. You know, even from the liquor business, you got Irish, you know, and whiskey, and, you know what I mean, during that time frame. You know, that's where those gangs were really big at. So that's where you had the Rat Pack form out of it.
The Rat Pack. Yeah, that's true. Do you try to suspend judgment? Although I think I asked you this. If you try to suspend judgment, and you said to skip. Was that the question you wanted to come back to? Was that the question, Kay, he was going to come back to?
I don't know.
There was a question I asked you, and you said you were going to come back and answer. And I wanted to know if that was it. Do you try to suspend judgment on other people, places, or other things?
I don't really judge. That's why I don't try to stay away from the judging. Yeah.
Oh, then it wasn't that one. Dang. I've asked him too many that I don't even know which one. You guys, whoever listening, know the question that I asked Chris. He said he was going to come back to. Remember, he was like, that's a good one. Let's come back to that. And do you remember which one I asked you? Look, yeah, I'm asking you.
I don't remember saying it, but
You're like, I don't know. I'm just going to answer these questions. Okay, what's something that amazes you?
Power of the mind. That's why I'm really stuck on that because
I like that
you
answer.
know that's the thing that separates us from animals. You know, so and I've really been all over that. You know what I mean? Just thinking of the evolution of where we came from, and you know, at some point in time, there was a primitive state where we're not apex predators. We don't have fangs and venom and run the fastest, the superest eyesight. What's the one thing that separates us from our primitive being ate by a lion or any other bear or any of the other animals ran down by a cheetah, And it's the power of our mind. Like we evolved over time and learned how to use tools and weapons and to be basically an apex. Our brains put us into be the apex, of what we are now. Same thing that destroys us too, because that's just what it is. Our intellect is so high and wants to be so much more that sometimes it doesn't take time to consider what we're losing and what we're hurting and damaging in the process. But it's our intellect. Our intellect and our mind is just the most powerful computer on the face of this earth, and we'll spend more time reading a 100-page book about our TV or phone than learning the psyche of our mind, that which puts us in the positions to be where we're going to be at.
We should take a moment to think about that. That was a good answer. I like that. The mind.
It's just, I wish I was that way, you know what I mean? That's one of the things I know I want to be where I'm at now, but I wish I was kind of thinking in those terms as going through school and learning, you know, and having more.
Where do you think
being
you
more
would be
appreciative.
at if you were?
Oh, no. But I wouldn't be here, probably. You know what I mean? So, and I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing, and I'm affecting the kids that I'm affecting now and doing those things. So, I do get that. Like, you know, one sneeze or, you know, swat of a fly in an instant of time could change the whole dynamics and parallels of the, you know, of your universe. But, you know.
It's like the movie Fly. I was thinking about that. Okay. Where's your favorite place to take an out-of-town guest? Getting a little.
I'm always in Maryland. That's where my family
Maryland?
At. Yep.
You would take your out-of-town guest to Maryland? Okay. What would be the places to go?
Oh, see, I don't do a whole lot of trips, and then when I do have those times, I go with the family. So, like, I love to be around my family. So, and my family is full of excitement, full of fun. I mean, there's going to be food, there's going to be drinks, there's going to be laughter, there's going to be a bunch of different reactions, and, like, it's such a good time. I always enjoy being there. So,
sounds like fun.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Invite me
what
and
else
Kay
do you...
next time. We'll be your out-of-town guest.
I'm trying to tell you, even when they come in town.
Look, invite us. Next time we have an evacuation.
I will.
Me and Kay, we need to come
That's
too.
what I went right to the family. I was like, yo, I'm not going anywhere else. Like, yo, like, there's no reason to get a DUI to drive it. I mean, you could go to sleep right where we at, have a good time. There's gonna be food,
Love it.
Playing games. There's gonna be everything.
Oh, I
And
love
you
it.
sleep
That's
right
how
with
it is when I
guys.
go up north and visit my family in Ohio.
It's a good time.
It's like that. Yeah.
I don't even go to no club.
Go to a certain cousin's house or auntie's house or, you know, then it's going to be that. It's going to be music and food and everybody's laughing and joking and having a good time.
Card game,
I love that.
dog,
Yes.
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Pool, whatever.
I remember,
is at the house.
I remember my family was big on playing pinochle.
Ah, right.
And I don't know how, if that migrated over to Jersey and your family is into that. But I never learned how to play it because I remember my parents and her sisters and brother playing that when I was a kid. That pinochle and then spades, of course. But, Tunk. They played all that.
All that poker in between.
Poker,
We gamble a little bit. So it's like all those different variants, gambling and all that. It's like it's all these all for fun. There's no, we don't bust out in wild fights and none of that. Like it's just really everybody really wants to have a good time, and that's so like I literally have no desire. And then that's also a good thing to take anybody else because my family just embraces, everybody with love. So I'm very cautious of who I bring around them because they got to take everybody in.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. It's good to have a family like that, Yeah. Okay. Well, Chris, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to do one more card, and I know I'm keeping you so late. We haven't even scratched the surface on these cards just because it's so many. No, not even. No. There's so many different questions to this. I'm gonna say know yourself quiz because it really causes you, I think, to do a self-reflection, and then you just knowing even more so about yourself because you're thinking about these questions and you're like, I don't know what you would call it. But I think it's definitely, you're definitely knowing yourself, getting to know yourself. You ready for another question, Chris?
Sure.
Okay.
No way at it.
Well, how about this? Do you prefer that people shoot straight with you or temper their words? And I was going to say straight for the hip.
Just a little bit.
Straight for the hip, just a little bit.
So you already know my answer. You already know what my answer is. Yeah, you got to get the background story on that. Everybody like, well, shoot from the hip a little bit. What's that?
Yeah. Well, Chris, and
yeah.
it was the last episode that you did, that you came up with this. And tell our listeners and viewers what the straight from the hip was.
Well, me and Kay was talking, and we were too. We all was conversating, and what was it? What was the question initially? You remember, Kay? I don't remember initially, but I know
what was it? 'Cause
it was basically about when you come up with
A
certain
name was meant for.
the title or something, and I was like,
oh yeah, how do you come up with the names that you come up with?
And I was like, I just shoot from the hip,
Just
a little bit, and it just,
And that
basically,
stuck.
and it just stuck. You know what I mean? It's just a phrase or whatever, and just everybody heard, shoot from the hip. Basically just shooting. It's a quick shot, so that's what the idea is. And the quick and the dead, or in the time in the Wild West, you don't have time to pull your gun all the way out the holster and hold it up and shoot. You'd be dead. So a quick shot, you shoot from the hip, and then you just do it a little bit. It's just a little bit. You don't fully extend it.
Wait a minute.
you don't fully extend it.
Wait a minute. And then he said you don't fully extend it. You just
shoot from the hip.
and you just shoot it a little bit. Look.
It's a quick shot. It's a quick shot.
Oh, you guys who are listening, I
that's
wish
it,
you could
that's
see
it.
Chris doing this little shot. that
Kay
he shoot-
loved it. Kay loved it.
Oh yeah. Chris, so you've got to leave here
Okay.
giving her another.
Oh, man.
You got to be thinking about that, because we're gonna need one. See, we've got shoot from the hip, just a little bit. So, I didn't do it right. Was I not? Oh, okay, she's saying I didn't holster it right and bring it out. I had to bring it out from the side. Okay. So he's got to come up with a good one, because we're still laughing on this one. I know this one might last a while. Chris, what position do you sleep in?
Dang. Yeah, another question. Okay. I'm in position.
Did I?
Okay, all right.
What happened?
I don't know,
What's
because
going
I
on?
thought you had. It was another question before I had, like when I answered that one, but that other one was something else.
Was it something
That's
else?
why I had looked. But because we gave that story.
Because I said, do you prefer that people shoot straight with you?
Oh yeah,
Or
we shoot
temper
straight. That was
their
the answer.
words.
Yeah, and the answer was shoot straight.
You said you'd rather them be honest and shoot straight, right?
Yeah, you're straight shooting.
Yeah. Because then you said that, and then I was like, I thought
Okay, right.
we were going to go for shoot from the hip just a little bit. Okay. But
Okay,
now,
so-
what position do you sleep in?
I feel weird saying this. It's not a actually, it's called the fetal position. I don't know. I don't know. It's not called.
So,
but
isn't
nah,
that
on my
like
side.
spooning
I sleep-
yourself?
Nah, I sleep on my side.
I just said it. Just put y'all off
What?
guard. I said, isn't
I'm
that like
spooning
spooning
yourself?
yourself?
That's no.
I don't think it's humanly possible
No,
to
you
spoon
can't spoon
yourself, so
yourself.
I'm
No.
just joking. I don't think it's humanly possible. Unless you're like really
no,
your
I
torso
mean, yeah.
can.
But I do have a pillow
and-
to keep my alignment properly. I do place a pillow in between my legs, so I do have one of them body type
It's
joints.
better
yeah.
on your back.
Yeah, so
Right.
I sleep that way.
Okay. What are the top 3 qualities that draw you to someone new?
Personality.
That's one.
Of course, how they look.
Oh,
I mean, I had to say it because I mean that the physical appearance has to be there. So
okay.
but personality definitely, and then and generosity. Those are major points.
So those are the three top that would attract you to someone that, okay. See? Okay, see, I just gotta ask one. This is so good. If you could eliminate one weakness or limitation in your life, what would it be?
You said one limitation.
One weakness or limitation.
My ability to conform. I don't know. Like I'm such in a conformed state to which I'm at work every day, and I guess that part is just I feel limited, and you know I have the responsibilities of my daughter and those things, and you know I want the water and to be able to fulfill the purposes, the things I want to do, and the job I feel like is the only thing. And at some point, you know, when that time happens and arrives, I'll be ready for that. But I think that's like my only limitation, because you know the job restrains you for what you want to do.
I would agree with that, definitely. Yeah. Have you forgiven yourself for past personal failures? Why or why not?
Yeah. Because I gotta move on. I forgive myself. Yeah. I can't. Because if I continue to let that burden me, you know, then it continues to either shape my heart or harden it, or continue to carry that baggage and that luggage on. I have to forgive myself and move on. You know, and just know that was a part of my life. That was a learning portion. I need to go through it. Yep.
So do you feel guilty for moving on?
I can't allow myself to feel guilty, because everything happens for a reason. So I look at everything in a way of development. One of the things, like in my yearbook, I know when I look at my yearbook, a lot of people's like, "Hey, Chris, stay funny and sweet, don't never change." And it's like, you know, so many people don't never want you to change. So then, are you conforming yourself to be what they always want you and expect you to be? But then, at that point, you're preserving yourself. And then with preserving yourself, there's no room to expand. So it's either one or the two. You can't do both. You know, so either you're going to live within your box and preserve and safety yourself off, or
Some
you're going to
people
knock
can't
down this
accept
wall
your
and
change.
expand it. Yeah.
Maybe some people can't accept your change.
Yeah, but you know, that's part of moving on. So like, you can't feel guilty and keep yourself. If you feel guilty, you know, forgive yourself, and you're keeping yourself within those parameters.
Good. Okay. Well, what's the best news you ever received?
My daughter's being born. I'm pregnant. That was it.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm pregnant. Yeah. I was excited.
where were you?
I wanted to. I was in the room.
Do you
in the
remember
bedroom.
where you were when she told you?
Bedroom.
What was the feeling that you felt?
Excitement.
Did you feel scared?
Yeah. Excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready to be the dad I always wanted to. I wanted somebody to pass on, you know, my life stories, I wanted to see parts of me,
Yeah.
my baby, my world.
No. Okay. Well, you know, I can keep going on and on, but I'm sure that everyone is probably like, when is this going to be over? But I hope that that's not the thought that you guys were having. I hope that's not the thought that you were having. So which means this will have to be a part 2. Because, Chris, you definitely have to come back and talk to me. And, huh?
I said, yeah, I'm starting to get hot too now.
Yeah, it's getting hot here, and thank you for participating in this new venture of games, kind of self-reflection and getting to know each other and getting to know yourself, even more so than you already do. And I think it's very good at just causing you to kind of think
Reflect.
reflect on your life and even where you were then versus where you are now, kind of thing. And being that dark skinned brother versus that light skinned, that battle that
you
you
bring it up again.
went through,
No.
But anyhow, thank you for coming again, and I'm sure that you'll be back because I'll drag you back in here and for a part 2 because we've got a whole lot more to go. So there's a whole lot more I wanted to ask you. So, but I know that I've kept you long enough. So you guys, please like, subscribe, follow. Listen to the show. You can go to Instagram, Breaker Podcast Radio. Go on there. You can also see Chris. Chris, you're on Instagram as well.
Yep. Family
Under-
Springs.
Right.
Mhm.
So they can go on there and now, because you said something about mention the subscriptions and everything, they can go on there.
Yep. You can
And
go to familysprings.com.
okay.
You can go to Family Springs LLC on Facebook and Family Springs on Instagram. Or you can just go to the Facebook and find all that. All that stuff will be provided on the website as well. And you can please like and follow us there and subscribe to the memberships. We have memberships available for as low as around $20 for pickup. Like I said, you're not going to beat those prices for alkaline water and 4-gallon jugs ready for your cooler, for your work in the office, your gym.
So you do, and that was my next question. You do deliver commercial and
Right.
residential.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Mhm.
that's good. That's good to know. So all you businesses out there, make sure you order some Family Springs, and he's got different ways to connect. So, and if you are wanting to know, I'm also going to post his website on Spreaker website. So if you want to go to that and check it out, it'll be on there as well. And it will be on Tomorrow's Daily Life on YouTube. Also, a way to connect with Chris and order that water. So thank you guys for listening and watching the show. Until next time, tomorrow's show, Reaching the Stars of Today. Thank you.